Fox urgent, world financials perched to see what will happen with the first full week of trading since Britain exited the European Union. Asian markets opening in about 59 minutes. We'll be monitoring for reaction. And that so-called Brexit is having an impact on American politics already. The top contenders for the White House, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, are going at each other with a fresh round of heat. And developing into a big story, new polling which shows a double-digit advantage for one of them. Critics are asking, is that poll the real deal? I'm Harris Faulkner. This is the Fox Report. Donald Trump slamming the latest ABC News Washington Post poll that shows Clinton with a 12-point lead. Compare that to a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll showing Clinton up just by 5 points. We have Fox team political coverage, Kristen Fisher following the Trump campaign. We'll first go to the senior political correspondent, Mike Emanuel, who's live in Indianapolis, where Hillary Clinton spoke just a short time ago, Mike, to a gathering of city mayors. I understand she's trying to sell her experience to the crowd. How did that go?
Harris, no question about that. Hillary Clinton talked about steady, experienced leadership being critical at times like these, and she spoke about partnering with America's mayors.
We need leaders like yourselves at the local and state and federal level who understand how to work with other leaders to manage risks, who understand that bombastic comments in turbulent times can actually cause more turbulence, and who put the interests of the American people ahead of their personal business interests.
A swipe there at Donald Trump, but with at least some Republican mayors in the room. Hillary Clinton did not mention Trump by name. Harris?
Well, she probably didn't have to. I mean, he's been pretty active on Twitter. He let her know that he was right, she was wrong. So she was wrong about Brexit. How is she trying to reassure people, her supporters?
Well, she essentially said that America needs leaders who realize that our partnerships and alliances are critical at times like these. And she said it's critical that our leadership understand that these partnerships make us more safe.
No one should be confused about America's commitment to Europe. Not an autocrat in the Kremlin, not a presidential candidate on a Scottish golf course.
From here, it's on to battleground Ohio, where Clinton will be joined on the campaign trail by Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Warren is mentioned as a possible running mate, and all will be looking for any sign of chemistry between the two and how they might possibly work together. Harris?
Yeah, it's interesting. So, you know, by some estimations, Warren would be kind of the Bernie Sanders crowd to try to siphon some of those voters who say that they are never Clinton. What about Bernie? Because he's still not going away.
Well, Harris, it's an awkward time for him because the other day he said that he would not be the Democratic nominee for president. Then he said he would vote for her. But then Sanders today said he can't just flip a switch to make his supporters back Clinton.
It's not just Bernie Sanders saying, oh, yeah, just vote for Hillary Clinton. It is Hillary Clinton standing up and saying, you know what, these are the things we need to do. And if she does the right thing, I am absolutely confident that the vast majority of my supporters will vote for her.
Short of endorsing her, Sanders trying to hold on to some leverage to try to get something in the negotiations with the Clinton camp. Harris?
That's a nice way to put it. He basically said, yeah, I might vote for her, but you do what you want. Mike Emanuel, good to see you. Thank you. Presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump is reacting to those polls that I just mentioned. Kristen Fisher is live for us in Washington. And Kristen, he did hit social media with this.
He did. Trump took to Twitter to essentially call the ABC News poll dishonest. But even more telling is what Trump's campaign chair, Paul Manafort, said this morning on Meet the Press. He was asked if he'd acknowledged that Trump's behind in both the polls and in terms of campaign organization. Well, not only did Manafort say no, he also said you can't compare the Clinton machine to Trump's more unconventional campaign, especially when, as Trump says, it's just getting started.
We have hundreds, we have actually thousands of people in the battleground states, political organizers who are now in place. We have state organizations that are in place. We have our campaign plans in place. We have our budgets in place. And we have, the good thing is we have a candidate who doesn't need to figure out what's going on in order to say what he wants to do.
So that's Manafort essentially trying to reassure worried Republicans that this campaign is ready for a general election fight and ready for the convention, which is now just 3 weeks away. Harris?
You know, I've been reading more about that Virginia lawsuit, which seeks to unbind the delegates for Trump, which would essentially mean that they could vote for whom they want when they get to the convention. What's happening with that?
Well, this is just the latest effort from the Never Trump movement. It involves a Republican delegate who filed a lawsuit on Friday challenging a Virginia state law that would force him to back Trump at the convention. Now, at the same time, there are reportedly hundreds of other delegates trying to dump Trump by changing party rules to include a conscience clause, which would essentially allow delegates to vote for whomever they want. Well, yesterday, Trump told our John Roberts that he's not worried about it, and here's why.
I have millions of people out there, almost 14 million to be exact, that will be extremely upset if that happened. I've won, just won easily and won big. Now somebody's going to try and take it away? I don't think so. And I'm doing very well in the polls. We're doing very well in the polls. But they couldn't do it if they wanted. So, I think, honestly, even though it's you, it's made up by the press.
But this lawsuit gives credence to the argument that this is not made up by the press, that it's still a real movement, one that continues to generate significant unknowns heading into Cleveland. Harris?
Kristen, thank you.